Hi, everybody. Just wanted to talk to you really quickly about the gradebook. That is one of the best tools I think that Blackboard has to offer. I am not a math person, as I imagine many of you are not either. And so I find the Blackboard, the gradebook to be super, super helpful. And if you set it up right at the beginning of the semester, it makes your grading life so much easier. So I'm going to show you how to set up your Blackboard gradebook. And just give me a second to share those tabs for you. Okay. So I'm going to take you over to this menu on the side here. And if we go all the way down here for our course management, we're going to click on this little triangle here where it says Grade Center, and you can open your full Grade Center. Okay. The difference between this, obviously, and the needs grading is the needs grading is only going to show you assignments that students have recently submitted that need attention. So obviously none of my students have submitted anything because there are no assignments just yet. So my needs grading section would be blank. Where I want to work with the gradebook is going to be in my full grade center. Okay. And that is going to show me all of my students, all of their grades. It's going to show me when they last accessed it. And you can kind of play around a little bit with these menus. But I want to show you how to create weighted columns and how to put your, however you break down your grades together. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Manage menu, and that is going to ask you to manage the categories that you have assigned in your class, okay? Now, Blackboard comes with a bunch of already pre-existing categories. So example, when you assign a discussion board, it's going to go to the discussion category. If you assign a journal, it's going to go to a journal category. But most of us don't use those exactly as they are. We have different weighting categories. So I'm going to create a category. So let's say I want my essay number 2 to be a certain weight and in its own category, okay? All I have to do is create all the categories I have. So if you see right here, these are the ones that I've created, and the ones that don't have a checkbox next to them, those are the ones that are pre-existing here in Blackboard, okay? I'm going to create another category here, which is my midterm. Oops. I apologize for my poor typing today. Okay. I'm going to create another category for my final because each of these in my particular course have a specific category weight. And then I can create a category of all other assignments. Okay. Now, all this does is set up the categories, but I have to tell Blackboard, in a sense, what weight I want to give to which category. And so we can do that. If we go back up here, let me just get rid of this purple bar so you can see this again. I'm going to click back to the Grade Center. Okay. And what I want to do now is I want to go to create a calculated column. And this calculated column, the students will see. So I like my students to see where they are throughout the entire semester, and without having to email me and say, how am I doing, or what I get on this test, or am I passing? They already know, and I tell them that from day one. So what I want to do is create something called a weighted column. So all of their grades are weighted depending on how you divide up your weights, and I'm going to create that weighted column so that they can see it. Okay, so I put here course average, so that they know this is what your average in the course is right now today. It might change. You're going to see it go up and down depending on, depending on what assignments you've handed in and what grades you've gotten, but they know that this is their course average. I don't need to write a description. You're more than welcome to if you'd like. It's going to ask you how you want to display it to the students. So there's lots of different ways you can display it. I always choose a percentage, okay, which is an actual numerical grade, 86.3 and such. And then the secondary display I like to use is a letter grade, because sometimes students don't know, well, is a 92 an A or an A minus? Is an 83 a B minus, a B plus, a C minus? They don't know. So I like to have that percentage and letter grade correspond with one another so that they know exactly where they stand. Okay. Now over here, it's going to ask me, well, how do you want to break down this weighted column, right? What is it going to look like? So I'm going to put, my first thing is my all other assignments, and I'm going to add that to the selected column. Okay. Once it goes over here, it's going to ask me, well, how much of the weight do you want to put in all other assignments? And let's say I'm putting 30%, okay? Now, I don't use a lot of this, the dropping grades or lowest value or highest value. I don't use any of those. I just use the percentages to keep it really simple for myself. The next thing I want to add is essay number 1. So I go back over here and I push it to the selected column. It's going to ask me again, how much is essay 1 worth? I'm going to say it's 15%. I'm going to go back over here and go to essay number 2 and add that as well. It's going to ask me again, how much do you want to weight this category? 15%, right? So right now I have 15. It usually will tell you at the bottom, yes. So if you look here, it will tell you your total weight. So it's going to tell you you only have 60%. You got to add some more stuff in. Okay. Now I want to add my final research paper, and I'm making that. I'm totally going off memory here, so I hope that is 25%. I believe it is 25. Okay, and you'll see that category go up to 85%. Okay, and now I want to add my midterm here, and that will be 15%. I just have to find it. Where did it go? Okay, so here's my midterm, 15%. So now all of these categories, my total weight is 100%. Okay, and then I know that each of these assignments have already been categorized at their particular percentage. So I know that essay number 1, when that gets handed in, it's going to be 15% of the student's total grading. Okay, I'm going to submit this. And now you will see this in the gradebook. Okay, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, so there's a lot of columns over here. Okay, I don't use all of them. Some of them I don't even like, but this is the one I just created. So this one right here is the course average. Okay. Some of these other ones, if you don't want to look at them, like this one, I'm going to delete this column. I don't care what it is, right? Total, I know that goes in Blackboard somewhere. I don't mess with that either. I don't need to know the student ID. I don't need to know their username. So if I'm messing around with this, I can just hide it from instructor view, okay? I can just go through that and see what columns I really want to see. And then I do like to look at the last access, because that kind of tells me who's already logged into my class, who's seen the material already. You can see lots of these students have not, and that's okay. And so you can kind of mess around with this part in terms of what you want to visually see. One thing I want to mention too is, let me just go here for column organization. So if you go up to manage and you go to column organization, this will tell you every column that's listed right now. And as you start adding assignments, you're going to see ones that are, I don't use the grading period at all. So you just see a whole bunch of assignments here. And then, like, for example, this, my student ID, I can check this off, and then I can click on the hide selected columns, right? I don't want to see the student ID, okay? I don't want to see the availability. I don't care about that. So I can go in here rather than doing them one by one. I can check off a whole bunch of them and put them wherever I want. The thing I like to do with this grading period is look at all the assignments and just make sure that they're in the right category. So when you assign a journal, Blackboard is automatically going to put it in that journal category, but I want to put it in my all other assignments because I weigh my journals and my discussion boards the same. So I want to put that in my all other material category. And I can do that here. So if I check this off, if this were an assignment, I'd be able to check it off and put it wherever I wanted to in whatever category I wanted. Okay. So that's kind of the basics of the grade book. You'll find that students find it really helpful to kind of see where they are throughout the entire semester. And there's no question about what their average is or what the corresponding letter grade is. It keeps it simple. And as you go through and grade things, they go right into the column. You can, obviously just make sure that they're in the right column as you go through the grading, the grade book. And then once I do that, it just keeps my life so much easier. You're able to transfer those midterm grades. You can see instantly who's failing, who needs a care report, who needs maybe some extra help or tutoring, and all that material is right there for you. Okay. You can also, you can also categorize these, like sort them. So sometimes I'll sort them by, you know, the sort ascending or sort descending, so I can see who's got the best course average or the lowest course average, and then I can kind of see where my students are at any particular moment. So I hope this was helpful. I love the gradebook. I hope it makes your life a lot easier as well.